But interestingly enough, the only time that people really seem to be afraid of guns is when it's in reference to a school. And it doesn't mean, not just in the capacity where someone's gone in and caused harm, but when we talk about arming teachers or providing more armed security, or officers are hiring retired veterans to go in and protect our schools, people seem to automatically shut down at this idea of a gun being on school premises at all. Yet, they don't have a problem with the armed security at the mall, or the armed security at the airport, or, the armed security surrounding all of our government buildings and government officials. They don't really seem to be concerned about the fact that the vast majority of their neighbors probably have guns in their homes, that they spend most of their life in close proximity to someone who has a firearm. Right down to it, none of them seem to mind when somebody is legally armed around them and can step in and address a threat at any time that it happens. Just look at what happened in Greenwood, Indiana with Eli Dickens. There was a threat. People's lives were in danger, and I'm sure none of those people cared who it was that was protecting them. They didn't care if it was an officer. They didn't care if it was a security guard. They just cared that somebody was armed, they legally had a weapon on them, and they were able to use it effectively and to save lives. And we know that guns are used for self-defense and for protection because we give them to law enforcement. We give them to the military. We give them to security guards. We use them in all of these scenarios in everyday life because we know that they keep crime from happening, that they serve as a deterrent to criminals because they know that they're going to be met with force and with resistance and potentially with harm upon themselves if they go to these places that they know are armed. So if it's good enough for Joe Biden to walk around with armed security, and for Beto O'Rourke to have armed security, and every other government official to walk around with private security that's armed to keep them safe, why is this not good enough for our kids, the most defenseless people, the people that are most incapable of protecting themselves?